Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Yogi Hamm. I'm Yogi Hamm. This is my garage. This is where we talk about stuff all the time. And guess what? Tonight we're talking about who? You saw down in there, Mr. Dean Martin. Damn it. Yeah, boy, that was like huge, and I've talked about him before on here, but I'm gonna tell you again, that feller, huge part of my childhood, and I never met the man, never met him. But when he croaked, boy, that's like I felt like I lost a damn favorite uncle, 'cause he's so big in my childhood. But anyway, he's born June 7th, 1917. Yeah. And he was he was born, his name Dino Paul Crosetti. I don't know how to say that last name. I think that's close, but anyhow. But he was doing a little dancing and singing out there, but he wasn't really, he was good, but he just wasn't getting the right people hadn't seen him yet. So what happened was he started doing these clubs and these little clubs, and they'd have a bunch of people on. He'd come out and sing a little bit, and they'd give him a little bit of money, and then somebody else would come out and sing, and then there'd be a comedian come out, and mostly at them clubs it was just unknown folk that ain't been discovered and got big time yet. But one night he was in there and he saw this little skinny young comedian guy, and he's like, this guy's pretty damn funny. And somebody suggested, you know what? That's what your act could use, a little comedy, and then his act could use some singing and dancing. So they met and they hit it off really good. They became great friends for a decade. But so they teamed up though. They teamed up with Jerry Lewis in 1946, and they went on a damn ride, boy. Yeah, they took off. They became huge. They got radio. They got their own radio show. They top billing every damn where they went. Then the movie people come a calling and say, you guys got to make movies. And they was like, yeah, we do, don't we? So they made, I keep seeing it at 16 or 17. Now you think biggest fan of Lewis and Martin as I was, that I wouldn't know that, but there's movies I ain't seen because I've told you in the other video, way back here at the beginning of the channel, I ain't watched their last two because I know it's their last two, and I feel like when I watch them, that'll be the last part of my childhood that still had a little magic on it. You know what I mean? So I've just held off watching them. They're in the house. I got them. As part of the whole damn collection, but I don't know if it's... Anyway, they did 16, 17 movies together, and that's what I'm talking about. That's when I first... My mama listened to him, but I'd never really seen him or nothing like that. But then he started seeing these movies, and Mama was like, we gotta go see these. And so when they was on, we had to go sit down and watch them, boy, whenever they was on. I was a little bitty kid. And then every once in a while, they'd show two or three of them together down at next town over at their theater. If you go over there, and sometimes Saturday afternoon they'd show 2 or 3 Martin and Lewis movies. So I lived for the days of watching them movies. I loved them guys. Like they was, like I said, favorite uncles. I loved them, and they lasted till 1956 when Dean Martin got tired of just, it was always the same kind of thing. Jerry Lewis be the klutz and get all the laughs and everything, and then he'd come in and sing a song and flirt with a girl, and she'd be like, "No thanks, I know you're kin." And then he'd sing another song later, and then Jerry Lewis would be off over there, and then they'd sing a song together, and then at the end he'd get the girl, and he got tired of that because it was every dang movie, every movie they did. And then the worst part was when they did an interview together, Martin and Lewis, but on the front page they just put Jerry Lewis on there. They cut Dean Martin out of that picture. And that's when Dean said, "You know what? I think it's time for me to move on and go do something by myself." And he did too, boy. He had his own damn TV show for a long time. He had a movie, did a bunch of dang movies, did some westerns. His TV show was like from 1965 to 74, had 9 damn year on TV. That's a success right there. Plus he's doing all them celebrity roast. Back when you didn't have to be filthy and disgusting to be funny. But anyhow, he did a couple of westerns with John Wayne. I love them movies. Boy. But Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, them two together was my uncles, my favorite damn uncles from childhood that I never met. But I used to watch that Dean Martin show with my mama sometimes, when she had a spare minute. But Dean Martin, I was sitting, I was at my house. I had TV on, and the news was about to go off, and I had my baby daughter was a month old that day. And they come on the news and said Dean Martin had passed. And I was like, no, what? And I'd never met the man, but I felt a huge loss. I've talked about this before on here, but that's how you know it's true, because I've repeated it too many times. Anyhow, song, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and get you a song list too, and I'm going to give you one from 1959, Mr. Damn Dean Martin's version of On an Evening in Roma. And there's part of that sung in that Italian, boy. Yeah, he's on it. Come bella c'è la luna, brilla spessata come butta bella, pasteggia sotto cielo di Roma. Like that, boy. Except Dean Martin does it way better. He got that smooth voice, boy. That's what they called him. His nickname was a king of cool, boy. Yeah, he was. But anyhow, there you go. Go listen to that. On an Evening in Roma, Dean Martin. Go listen to that. And go watch some of them Martin and Lewis movies. A lot of people can't take Jerry Lewis. They said he's just too much and too stupid acting, and it just gets on their nerves. And I see that, but I also see it from the eyes of a kid that used to adore them movies. So I can still watch the movies and get joy out of them. I just haven't watched them last 2 yet. That's me. You gotta admit it's over, and I ain't ready after 70-some year. I ain't giving it up. Comment if you want to. We'll see you in the next one, and maybe next one after that. Be nice to everybody. Be nice to each other. Be nice to yourself too. You deserve it. You're working hard, taking knocks. Okay, I'm going. All right, bye.